Hey guys, welcome back to What If Deku had Gunvolts Powers, part 16. Now, if you didn't see the last part, I'll probably put a link to it in the eye icon up in the corner. But we mostly got past Izuku and Copen's fights, with Izuku beating Zonda with his full power Flash Field and Excalibur. But unlike Copen, Izuku is still able to move. Um, he just isn't can't rely on his quirk for the time being. I would call that a major overheat. And and Copen can't move since Lola used the power of darkness, the new power of darkness trigger, which I to explain no to sorry to defeat Muscular and Copen. So Copen is out for the time being. Basically, think of darkness trigger as like Deku when he had no control over One for All. Darkness trigger causes high physical, huge physical strain, and it gets worse depending on time of day, which I explained before. But unlike One for All, it didn't break Copen's bones. It just hurts like hell to move. With Copen's current state, with Copen's current state, meaning he'll have to adapt himself later on and work on a method of deactivation in case of emergencies. And sure, Lola has a first aid program, but that is useless if Lola overloads. So they'll have to make some major upgrades for it. But enough of explaining. Let's just get into it. We start off this part with Jewel in the forest looking for the other students. Well, after seeing the major fire break out, Jewel, Jewel eventually runs into a girl with blonde hair, a mask on her face and syringes on her body and a knife in her hand. Who looks at her saying, "Oh, oh, it's you, the girl that group's boss is looking for." Jewel's eyes widen, saying, "Wait, you're you're off to me?" And and Lumen comes out saying, I don't care who who you all who you all are. If you come near Jewel, I'll rip you apart." The girl laughs, says, "I like you. My name's Himiko Toga, and honestly, my boss wouldn't care if you were captured or killed." So Toga dashes at Jewel, saying, how about I make you bleed a bit?" Toga slashes at Jewel with Jewel narrowly avoiding it. Jewel looks at Lumen and nods, with Lumen starting to sing and powering Jewel up. Jewel dashes at Toga, with Toga doing the same. As Toga thrusts a knife forward Jewel dodges and grabs her arm, pinning her to the ground harder than Uraraka did in Canon because of her power up. Because of that, Toga is a bit more bit of in a bit of a daze, but when she managed to grab her syringe, with Lumen seeing this and pulling Jewel away, with Toga getting up saying, "You're much tougher than you look, Jewel, but that makes me want to see you bleed even more." Toga dashes at Jewel again, faster and more ruthless than before, with Jewel trying her best to dodge, but before she could get hit, a bright light shines. Toga, after seeing this, seeing a mirror, after this, sees a mirror and says, "Oh, boo! I want to see her bleed." She pouts, with someone saying, "Now, little Himiko, if you hurt the girl, my boss would have you killed." Toga says, I know that, but you're no fun, Zonda." A girl with pink hair emerges from the forest, saying, "Well, I'm not here for fun. I I am here to capture our little muse, and if she had so much as a cut on her, then I would be in major trouble." Toga looks at Zonda, saying, Why does it matter? Nova just wants her quirk." Zonda, in a serious tone, says, "Well, if the boss doesn't believe in such ruthless methods, Nova focuses more on on more quick and clean operations. That's what I respect about him. Now, let's get going." Zonda begins to float away with the mirror until they hear a voice saying, "Let her go!" And the two turn to see Uraraka running at them. Cut back to a few moments ago, with Uraka and Suyu looking around until they hear singing, with Uraka saying, "Wait, that's Lumen's song." The two run towards the song and see Zonda entering and overhearing about Jewel being the target, and seeing Jewel in the mirror with Uraka saying, Sue, go to Mandalay and tell her about this." Sue looks at it, shocked, says, "Wait, what? What about you?" Uraka says, Uraka says, "I'll, I'll, I'll try to stall. I'll try to stall him for as long as I can. But you're faster than me, so you need to make sure that Mandalay tells everyone about this. So go." Suyu was about to say something, but Uraka dashed at the villains. So Sue went to inform Mandalay. Now, back to this moment. Zonda looks at Uraka and says, "Toga dear, you're free to attack this one." Toga smiles and dashes at Uraka, with Uraka dodging, and Toga says, "I'm not falling for that again." Then Toga slashes at Uraka again, with Uraka ducking and sweep kicking Toga down to the ground, and dashing at Zonda again, with Zonda floating away as she says, Well, I would love to play with you. There just isn't any time. But next time, dear. Ta-ta!" Zonda, Zonda started to zoom away until a huge barrier of ice cut her off, with Todoroki saying, "So that's the villain also informed us about." From what I understand, on the way back to the center, Uraka and Suyu ran to on the way wherever, but Uraka and Suyu ran to Todoroki, Bakugo, Shoji, and Tokoyami and Deku in canon. So I would assume Suyu ran into the two on the way back and told them about the situation. Zonda glares at Todoroki, saying, "What a pain," as Bakugo used an explosion to fly at Zonda, saying, "You better let that stupid siren go, you extra!" And Zonda uses the mirror to dodge and flies away again, while Suyu makes it to Mandalay and tells her about the situation. And Mandalay uses her quirk to tell everybody about Zonda and the direction they were heading in. With Izuku hearing this, thinking, Zonda? Again? But whatever, I need to go help." Izuku runs towards the ice, hoping to find the villains before they get away. With Jewel and Copen hearing this, wait, no, get away with Jewel, sorry. And Copen hearing this thinks, "Damn it, they're after Jewel. I need help, but I can't move. Everyone, it's up to you." Zonda heading to the rendezvous point, sees Dabi and floats down, saying, "Oh, Dabi, do you mind dealing with the heroes for me?" Dabi looks at her and says, "Fine, just get the Kurogiri." "Will do." Zonda then goes to meet up with Kurogiri without interruption, while Dabi stalls Uraka and Bakugo and Todoroki. Meanwhile, with Jewel, she's banging on the mirror and looks around to find a way out. To find nothing, and says, "Damn it! We have to get out somehow." After a while, Lumen appears and says, "Jewel, I don't think there is a way for us to get out around. Maybe there's here. That villain probably made it with one way in and out." Jewel looks down and says, "You're probably right, but I can't give up. There has to be there has to be a way. I won't be the girl waiting to be rescued again." Lumen's eyes widen. Sorry. Lumen's eyes widen, and she sighs, saying, "Geez, and I thought I was the stubborn one. All right, there might be one way for us to get out." Jewel looks at Lumen and says, "Wait, really?" Lumen nods and says, "From what I can understand, this prison was made for us when I power you to handle when I power you up, which is limited because of us being separate beings." Lumen then looks down and says, "But if we were one person, then that limit should be shattered, and our power would increase immensely." Jewel's eyes realizing what Lumen was suggesting, and says, "Wait, but if we did that, you would uh, no, you can't, Jewel. Shut it, Lumen. I can't lose you. You're too important to me." "Jewel, I'm just your quirk, but you're so much more than that to me. You're like the sister I never had." Jewel starts to cry, with Lumen looking at her, saying, "Fine, we'll find another way out, so wipe those tears of yours." Jewel looks up and says, "So we'll find a way out together. You promise?" Lumen floats down to Jewel's level and extends her hand out, saying, "Promise." Jewel takes Lumen's hand and says, "All right, let's." Jewel was caught off by Lumen pulling her into a hug, with a smile on her face, crying, saying, "I'm sorry, sis. Goodbye." Jewel is suddenly surrounded by a bright aura as she says, "No, no, 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 please, Lumen, stop." Back back on the outside, Zonda was going to go through the portal with her mirror until she sees a crack in it with a bright light engulfing the area as it shatters with a girl with a girl with blonde hair and butterfly wings flying out. Izuku and many others noticing that light runs towards it with Izuku with Izuku arriving for their first seeing the girl, and Zonda visibly angry, says, "What? How did she? How did she?" She's cut off by Kurogiri saying, "We must retreat. That light could have signaled everyone else, and we won't stand a chance." Zonda was about to lash out, but then she smirks, saying, "Fine, let's go." And so the villains retreat, with Izuku running to the girl, saying, Lumen, is that you?" The girl turns to him, crying, saying, "Izuku." Izuku's eyes widen, thinking, that voice. As he says, "Jewel?" Jewel nods, with saying, "Izuku, she's gone." Izuku was about to ask who, but then it hits him as he starts to cry and says, "Lumen is gone." Jewel breaks down with crying, with Izuku hugging her, as everyone starts to gather up, seeing the two and finding out that while the villains didn't get what they wanted, Class 1A lost a valuable member that day. So from here, everything goes as in canon, and since since there was no kidnapped student, All Might vs. All for One went smoother, and ended the same. So yeah. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.